Hey everybody, welcome back to The Few. I'm here with Jess. Hi Jess.
Hi, Alex.
How are you doing?
I do great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Can you believe it's already February?
Can't literally cannot. It has. There's been so much that's already happened in this year, and I feel like I'm just hanging on with my teeth.
Yeah, January felt like a whole year for
It did.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is insane. Obviously, just all the crazy stuff that's happened here in Los Angeles has not helped the situation, but February is
Mhm.
always a great time, if people don't know, to start planning and kind of getting things organized for the year.
It's perfect time of year to
Perfect,
do
right?
this. Yeah. So I'm so glad we're
Jan-
talking about it.
yeah, January, you're kind of like, people are like, oh, I need to do this, blah, 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 but they're still kind of getting over the hang up of the holidays and getting back into things.
Mhm.
I think February is always a good time to just kind of get this stuff going.
We're really ready now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was pretend, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that. So today we're going to talk a lot about that, kind of getting you to take stock of your financial health, see if you're on track for your goals. We'll discuss some financial checkup items, what are critical, what areas to focus on, some questions that you should be asking yourself, some small adjustments you could do to lead to some improvements and so forth. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about some common mistakes to avoid. And one of the things, tax season is rolling around, right? Just what to do, how to best prepare for that, what to avoid, how to get some of those unexpected changes organized and ready to go. So let's dive
Let's
right
roll.
in. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I love this idea of a financial checkup. If you think about it kind of like your annual checkup with your doctor, this is the thing that you schedule and you go into. And a lot of times these days, your insurance plan comps it,
Right.
um,
Hopefully.
hopefully. Um, I mean, you're paying for it in your premiums, but this particular visit is something that is designed to look at you as a healthy person versus you as a sick person. And so the idea is you're going to go into it, you're going to get some blood work done.
Yep.
We're going to compare it to last year's. We're going to see, are you progressing with your health?
No blood will be drawn, just to clear that.
Not in your
Not in your
financial
financial.
checkup.
I might feel like it sometimes, but no.
But this is, the same idea, right? We're talking about your financial health, not, what problems are causing you to completely rearrange your financial situation, but based on any changes or any updates or just, are we still trending toward the same goals and the same plans that we thought we were?
Yeah.
It's just a great time to take stock of that. So like you said, February, perfect time of that, perfect time of the year, just to do these things. What are some of the benefits of someone who does this financial checkup regularly? What can they expect to happen for them by taking some time to make this happen?
So as we mentioned, kind of the new year is a great natural reset point, right?
Yeah.
People are like, okay, I want to get stuff done. There might be other New Year's resolutions and things you're trying to do, but this offers you kind of a chance to assess what's working and what needs improvement.
Yeah.
You saw what happened in 2024. Is there things that need to be adjusted, and then kind of looking at it that way. And then it's also a good time for you to review and look at some life events or economic changes or personal goals that may be shifted over times. Maybe, your income has changed, or maybe you had a child recently, or whatever it may be, something of that nature. The annual checkup ensures that your plan also evolves, because one of the things you and I always talk about with our clients is the fact that a financial plan is not something we're just going to kind of slide across the table and say, here you go, good luck, hope it works out. But it's a living, breathing plan.
Yep.
So it's going to evolve with you, especially if you're younger. There's going to be a lot of changes over the years. So we want to make sure we address all of those things. And then those regular reviews help prevent financial surprises. Just like you said, kind of going in for a checkup and saying, oh, we discovered something. It's good that we discovered this early. We can dive a little deeper into that. So that'll also help you identify opportunities for growth or keep you on track to meet those long-term goals. Because let's just be clear, when we sit there and we run those plans, we talk about averages, especially if we're talking about market returns. It's not it's, it doesn't just go in a straight line. Things go up, go down. So we have to plan accordingly, especially when it comes to investments.
Yeah, all great points. What are some key areas and questions that people should focus on during those annual reviews to ensure they are still on the right track
Right.
for
This is great. So I created a checklist of a bunch of questions, and you will be able to download that from the link that we'll provide. And there's a lot of great questions in there. I'll kind of real quickly go through a few of them just
Yeah, perfect.
to share. Have you identified new goals for this year or the future? Do you expect your household income and or expenses to change materially this year? Do you need to confirm that you are adequately saving towards your goals? Are there debts that you would like to eliminate this year? Do you need to collect tax forms and organize other documents to prepare for your tax return? Do you expect any changes with regard to your health or medical treatments? Do you need to review your estate plan? So a lot of those questions are in that checklist. It's a lot more robust than that, but you want to look at your goals. Are your short and long-term goals still aligned with your current life and future aspirations? Take a look at your savings and investments, review the contributions to those retirement accounts, emergency funds, and investment portfolios. Then debt management, check for opportunities to pay off or reduce your high interest debt. Insurance, again, we talk about emergencies a lot, right? Evaluate your health, life, and property insurance to make sure you're adequately covered. God forbid something were to happen. And then tax strategies, review potential deductions, credits, and capital gains before the tax season.
Yeah, one of the things that you just mentioned, and specifically to insurance, specifically to property insurance, that happens
Big topic
in
these
a lot of
days.
cases is, passively in the background, your home has been increasing in value. And if you haven't reviewed your homeowner's insurance to ensure that your homeowner's insurance has also increased its coverage along with your property value increasing, then you may find yourself in the middle of an emergency with an insurance issue. So things like that, this is why we do a checkup.
Right.
Just to review those types of items.
Unfortunately, many experience that here in Los Angeles, where their policy covered, we'll make up a number, $1 million, but their home has been worth $2 million, right? So if they were to replace it, they're not going to be able to replace it with the value of today's dollars. So those types of things, identifying them early makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah. It's, the reason that this topic is so important as you are speaking and talking through all of those questions is that it covers so much.
Right.
It's so comprehensive. So as we're going into these questions, like, maybe give us a little bit of a strategy or talk about how someone can identify where to focus or identify if and how to make these adjustments. What are some strategies for not just looking at the whole picture and going, this is too overwhelming. Like, how do they drill down into these details?
So 4 different spots you can start with, right? So one of them is any major life events. So if you have a new job, you got married, divorced, a child, or a large expense that maybe required some of your savings to get adjusted, that's something you want to kind of keep and identify. Then any market changes. So this is part of our job, but also educating the client. If there's any major swings where you need to review your investment portfolio to ensure that it's still balanced and aligned with the risk tolerance you have, and it's on track to meet your goals. Having your emergency fund, we talk about this all the time, right? So this is part of your foundation. If you have enough there, or maybe last year you had to dip into it and you've taken money out and now you need to replenish that. So keeping in line with those goals and making sure that you have enough. And as you said, as things cost more or you're spending more, maybe we have to adjust that emergency dollar amount as well. And then if you have any changes in your income, whether you've lost income or it's increased, maybe you have higher earnings that can provide an opportunity to increase your savings. So that could be an opportunity for us to look at and take advantage of and say, oh, you got a raise or you got a big bonus. Here's where we could put that and have that grow for you.
Speaking of the tax situation or your increased income, one of the things that you can avoid by doing this annual review is if you were to have an increased income, yay for you, but also maybe not so yay when it comes to tax season
Yep.
if you haven't adequately prepared for that. So let's talk about maybe as a segue into tax season, mistakes that people make, how this annual review can help avoid some of the problems.
So a big thing is obviously waiting till the last minute, right? So people might be saying, oh, I want to make a deduction. And it's like, well, depending on what it was, you might not be able to take that deduction. So I think a good opportunity now is to talk to your planner or accountant and figure out, okay, what can I do so I don't run into this last minute situation and plan for 2025? So whether it be, like I mentioned, taking a deduction or getting your documents ready or whatever it is, just kind of being prepared.
Yeah, by doing this review now, you may even have still that window of opportunity to make contributions to your retirement account that could provide for a tax deduction because you have until April 15th. But if you were to do this review in the summer, now you've missed that window.
Correct. But if you're an employee and you wanted to max out your 401k, you can't go back in time for that, right? So now you make those adjustments for this year, so you're not having this conversation come 2026.
That's right.
And then, maybe you have some disorganized paperwork. So keep track of your W-2s, 1099s, charitable donations, any investment related tax documents, keeping those organized so it's easy to know what you're doing so you don't have to kind of go back and forth. We've seen clients that have said, oh, I've totally forgot about this. I have to do an amendment. Maybe overlooking capital gains or taxable distributions. Review your investments in your taxable accounts to avoid any surprises. One of the things that we'll do with clients is obviously tax loss harvesting. If we see opportunities before the end of the year, we'll be able to take that, or we can take the loss to offset any possible gains or use that as an additional deduction for them. And then that kind of folds into clients or individuals might forget to maximize those deductions. Make sure you're working with a tax professional or a financial advisor to help identify any of those things that are available to you.
As we wrap up, one of the things that also happens, I think that's super important during those checkups is not just communicating what's different from your life, but also having an opportunity to review what's different about the world with your financial advisor or your CPA, and kind of them downloading new laws that are in effect, whether that be on the tax side or estate planning side, financial planning side, where you can say, okay, that could, and you can identify those things together that could impact your situation. So what are some of those things that could come up during this checkup?
So we wanted to be proactive when we're planning, right? So during those annual reviews, it gives you a chance to kind of adapt to new tax laws that have come in, especially now with the new administration.
That's right.
We got to take into consideration what's happening there. Look at any possible retirement changes. There might be increases of what you can do. Maybe before you were able to max out your IRA at X number, now it's higher and you didn't know that, so you can adjust those savings, and then any healthcare updates as well. This is a good opportunity when we're talking to clients to find out how are they doing health-wise. Has anything changed? Do we have to plan for that and accordingly?
Yeah.
That also kind of segues into life events, right? So maybe they made a new home purchase or a large purchase of another asset that we want to take into consideration. And they didn't realize that, oh, we need to put that as part of your estate plan. Maybe didn't.
Maybe some financial windfall, right?
Right. Maybe a financial windfall, inheritance, a job change. So a lot of these regular reviews will help catch some of those loose items where as an individual, you don't really think about it. It's part of your life. But when we're looking at all of the stuff and we're planning ahead, we need to identify those items.
That's right.
And then estate planning, right? So that will probably change as well, given what's going on with the new administration. So updating your plan, making sure your beneficiaries are updated, not only on your estate plan, your will, and as well as maybe retirement plans, if those things need to be updated as well. So as part of that checkup, you can look at all of that. And this is there's so much to look at, Jess. And that's one of the reasons that I created that checklist.
Yeah.
So again, we're going to share that with you. If you want to download that for free, you can. And that will ask you all the questions and areas to look at and help you identify any things that could have fallen through the cracks. You're like, oh gosh, I totally forgot about this. That happened 8 months ago. I didn't even think about it. And that way you can incorporate that into your plan moving forward.
That's right. And we talked a little bit about this when we in our emergency planning episode. If you do end up in a situation where you've gone through that checklist and you have 25 items that you've checked, maybe consider setting aside a specific time every week.
Yeah.
And blocking off an hour on a Friday morning. And for that 1 hour, the only thing that you're going to do is make progress on that list.
Right.
And however far you get during that hour on that list is however far you get. And that may not feel, in some ways, that may not feel like you're staying ahead of the game. But what it will do is more than likely get you further along over time and help you get better prepared and organized over time than if you were to just sit there overwhelmed.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I think hopefully it doesn't take that long. Like the checklist that I provided is kind of a yes/no answer. So
not an hour to get through it, but an hour for the items.
Right. So whatever, but at least you'll be able to identify that these are the areas I need to focus on, and then from there, spend some
just
time.
a little bit of time. You just set that time regularly aside. If you're talking with your financial advisor or your CPA, just let them know, hey, on Friday at 9 a.m., I'm going to get back to you on this. And that can be just a good way to put some boundaries around it while still making forward progress. So
great info.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Alex. This is a great list. Make sure you go check out that list, download it, go through that, set some time to answer for yourself and prioritize what you need to get done this year. Thanks so much for joining us on the Few podcast. We'll be back next time.
See you soon. Bye.